Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. This is my review for Percy Jackson and the Olympians, episode 8. So, spoiler warning, obviously, for episode 8 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. If you have not seen it, go watch it and then come back. And yes, let's just get straight into it. So, the season has come to a finale. If you've been watching my reviews previously, you'll know that I had problems with this show. I thought it was very underwhelming, and that continues with this finale. I mean, overall, I think this was a disappointing season. I think it has its positives. I think Walker Scobell is well cast as Percy. I think he does a great job. I do think that the main three actors do a good job with what they're given, but what they're given isn't great, you know? And so that, I guess, is where my main problem comes from, is that overall, this entire season felt very low stakes, felt like there was not much suspense at all, felt like there was not really much emotional depth. I mean, there were a few aspects of this series which I felt had emotional depth, but for the most part, it was just underwhelming. It was really underwhelming, and I never felt any weight to anything, you know? Like, nothing ever felt like high stakes, and there was no suspense, there was no depth or anything. I felt like everything was very rushed through, and, you know, everything that happened just didn't feel like it had much of a payoff, you know? Like, just skipping to the end, the betrayal at the end where Luke sort of betrays Percy, it didn't feel earned, and it didn't, like, when it happened, I just didn't care, you know? It's like, I feel like it wasn't built up to enough. I just didn't care about it, and I don't know. But listen, I know there are a lot of people who really do love this show, because it's so faithful to those books. But for the most part, I think in general, I've been seeing a lot on Twitter recently of people sort of realizing that the show is not that great, you know? It felt like it had no life, you know? Which is what I've been saying throughout the past few reviews, is that the entire show feels like it has no life, you know? No color. It's very dull. Not like visually, but it's very dull. It seems very low budget too, because with a show that costs approximately $15 million per episode to make, you do not see that money translated on screen whatsoever. I mean, some of the CGI is good, but for the most part, it's like obvious green screens and very like low budget shortcuts. Like every time Percy like tries to, you know, turn his pen into the sword or whatever it's called or whatever, I don't know. Whenever he tries to do that, it's off screen. You know, there's a very select few times where it's on screen, and a lot of the times the green screen is very obviously a green screen. And yeah, the VFX, I don't know where all the money went. I really don't. I feel like this everyone's been saying, who's, you know, fans of the books and has seen the movies, says that this series was supposed to feel like an epic adventure, you know, and that's what I was saying in the first episode. My first review for the first episode is that I thought this show was going to be like an epic fantasy adventure show, and it was going to be amazing to watch week to week, but it just wasn't. Everything felt so underwhelming. Everything felt so watered down, you know, and so that is where I just felt really disappointed, especially in this last episode. Like the stuff with Percy and his dad, I wasn't into it. It felt like everything gets resolved so quickly. Every conflict is immediately resolved, because also Percy just knows everything. He like knows how to solve every problem, and there wasn't much depth or suspense or even really that much of an arc for Percy or the Annabeth and Grover, you know. And so that is another reason why I'm quite disappointed. But look, I think talks are happening for a season 2. I think it's already being written. So hopefully the writers are seeing the criticisms that they are receiving on Twitter and on social media and do improve upon the second season. Because I haven't read the book, so I don't know what happens next story-wise. But I just hope that they improve on it. You know, I feel like this could have been a great show. And it could have been like that epic fantasy adventure that I wanted. Especially with that massive Disney budget. But it just wasn't. Everything was so underwhelming. And yeah, there was a few cool, like, you know, a few cool sets, I guess, you know, when they're in, what's the version of hell, like the underworld or something, is that what they call it? Like the Hades, where Hades lives. That, looked cool. Also, like, was it like Olympia or something? It was where Zeus was. I think it's Olympia, right? But that whole area looked cool, right? That was obviously CG, but that looked good and it was done well. And I was like, wow, we should have really been spending more time in areas like this and sets like this throughout the whole show, rather than being in like a little theme park or a museum or a mattress store or wherever they've been, or like a little low budget casino. You know, I know that's part of it, but it just had no life. And so overall, I'm quite disappointed, and I'm quite disappointed with how things wrapped up. I didn't feel interested. Again, the stuff with his mother, the stuff with Percy and his mother, that's probably the only thing that I felt really worked for me this season. I really did like that dynamic and that emotional arc. I thought that was very well done, but for the most part, everything else just fell flat for me. Even the fight, oh my god, the fight with Ares was just so disappointing and so low budget, and I was very, very upset with it. Like, it was basically being built up to this whole season, and it was just very underwhelming. So yeah, that's it for my review of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Thank you for watching these reviews along with me as I've watched this show. I have enjoyed talking about it, even though I didn't really love the show. But yes, that's it for this video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the show. Did you like the show overall, or do you agree with me and thought it fell a bit flat? Anyway, leave a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it and really help me out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.